Hello, welcome to this lecture where we're going to look at how we label different geometrical features. So we're going to start with points. Points are just a measure of location which have no size, so no length, breadth or depth. We label our points by using a capital letter. So this point here, we would write T, and that's how we would refer to it. Likewise here, we would refer to this as R. How would you refer to this point? Yeah, we'd refer to this point as S, because that's the letter that we've assigned to it. So we're now going to look at lines, intervals, and rays. These things are very closely related, but there's some small differences between them. So firstly, we have the line. A line is a geometrical feature that's straight, so it's not going to curve, and it continues into infinity. So this line, you could extend it forever and ever and ever and ever, and it would just keep going. That's what these arrows mean. It means the line doesn't actually end here, it could keep going onwards. Now, the way that we label a line is that we take 2 points on the line, and then we just write AB. Now we want to do this in alphabetical order, and luckily A comes before B, so our line would be AB. Intervals are like lines, except this time they don't continue on forever, because they don't have the arrows at the end. The lines stop at these points. So this line, we would take which letter comes alphabetically first, R, T. So how would we label the orange line? Okay, so we have the point T and we have the point S, and we know that S comes before T, so this would be called ST. And how would we label the green line? Okay, so we have R and we have S, and R becomes before S, so we'd go RS. Finally, we have a ray. A ray is halfway between a line and an interval. So a ray has a point where it ends. So down here we have E, where the ray ends. However, in one direction, the ray does continue forever. So this arrow here, as with the line, means that it continues forever. So our ray here, we would label it. What do you think that we would label it? So it's like all of the others. We take our order letters, put them in alphabetical order. So we get EF. Okay, so we're going to look at some more information about intervals. So sometimes we want to denote that our intervals are the same length without actually writing how long they are. So the way that we do that is by the number of these lines or dashes across our interval. So here we just match up the amount of dashes. So here we have TR, this interval, or RT, has one dash across it. And we're going to look for an interval with one dash across. And we see here AB has that, so we know that RT is the same length as AB. Now we would write this as RT equals AB. Now, I think it's pretty easy to work out which other line is of the same length of DF. So, how would we finish this equation? Okay, so the line that has 2 which matches is DE. So we would write DF equals DE. So that just means that each of these lines are the same length as each other. Or intervals. Now we're going to look at angles. Angles just tell us about the shape of when 2 intervals or lines cross. So you can see that the line TR crosses TS with this shape in between them. And that would have a certain amount of degrees that we'd measure it in. The way that we would write this angle is we would choose one of the outer points. So we're going to choose R. Now, we begin by drawing this little symbol. Now you can see it looks like an angle, and that's why we draw it. It's an angle. Then we write our outside letter, so R. We follow this line until we hit the next letter, which is our T, and then we continue along and we get to our S. So it becomes angle RTS. That's the best way to write this. You could also write this as angle T. However, we need to be careful because if we had another line here or another interval, which went to U, so we had UT here, and we wanted to measure this angle. We don't know which of these angles here is referred to by angle T. So angle UTR or angle RTS could be the angle T. So we want to avoid using this one. But you will see it written some places, so that's what it does mean. Okay, can you tell me how we would write this yellow angle? Okay, so there's two ways that we could do this. We take either of the outside points, so it could be a T or it could be an S. So we start with our angle sign, angle T, continue along the line, we get to the R, and then along the line until we get to the final point, which is our S. Or we could have started at the S instead, and we go up to the R, so we get angle S, R, and then we follow along, we get to the T. And how would we write this green angle here? Okay, so again, there's 2 ways that we could do this. We could begin at the T, or we could begin at the R. If we begin at the T, we're going to get angle TSR, or if we begin at the R, we're going to get angle RST. So both of these ways of writing it are exactly the same. So you don't need to be worried if you write it one way or the other, they'll both be the correct way, and they both equal each other. Okay, so this is just a quick summary of what syllabus stop points we have covered. I hope that has made sense. If you have any questions, please bring them to me.